Hi, everybody. Along with Eddie Olchak, Mike Emmerich, it's the Habs and the Leafs. I can't imagine what it must be like in the locker room before this game.
Chris, it appears that you are the default USA American sports guy for God is a Geek. Is that a fair statement to make?
That is a fair statement, yeah. I'm enjoying it. It's great. Some good games coming out recently from across the pond, sports-wise.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because like EA never really tend to care much about it. It's weird because if you're not FIFA or Madden, like these games just sort of come out and they just, you can buy them if you want, and sometimes people review them, sometimes they don't. We're having a look at this. I haven't played an NHL game in a very, very long time. And in fact, the last time I remember truly loving them, we're going back to like Mega Drive days where they were sort of, I mean, they're still top down, I guess, but now they look ultra realistic as people are seeing right now, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I didn't play last year's. I read up on it. It seemed to suffer quite a bit going from last gen to current gen with there's a lot of features were missing. It kind of did what the WWE games did, where they tried to focus too much on the controls. They messed it up a bit, missed out a lot of features. So with the new NHL, a lot of those features have come back. So for those that have missed those, they're all back. But in terms of how it looks and how it plays, it's ridiculously good. And it's something that EA should be proud of because, as you said, they focus a lot on, your FIFAs and the Rory McIlroy golf. This is really special.
So is it still? Because again, not to harp on about the old games. The old games were quite arcadey when you look back on them. These are a bit more realistic now. Well, a lot more realistic. And that you to pass, you or shoot, you flick the other stick, right? Is that still how they play? That's
still how they play. Yeah. I don't know about last year, but as you say, the shooting is literally tap of the R button, and it's super sensitive, super realistic. It is fun to play. It is very arcadey. I found that, yes, it is a simulation, but it is also really easy to get to grips with. And as you say, the older games like the Wayne Gretzky hockeys on the Mega Drive and the Joe Montana Sports Talk footballs, all were all about the fun. Yes, it is a simulation, but it's very fun as well.
So what should we get into here? Presumably you can. There's lots of modes because there are lots of modes in every EA Sports game. There's going to be exhibition, there's going to be online. But do NHL do like Ultimate Team yet? Madden have started doing that stuff. In the last couple of years. Does NHL do anything aside from the norm?
Yeah, they do the Ultimate Team. So same as your FIFAs and everything else.
With the full transfer market, auction house and stuff.
Auction house, pack of cards. It's very much taken from your FIFA and put into this game. So you've got that option there. That's all there for you to do. There's all your modes. Your Be a Pro modes for NHL, my GM mode. So you can be as into the actual career of a player as you want, or as a manager. Ultimately, you just get to play the games. And one of the main features I wanted to talk about was the on ice trainer.
Right.
So if you are new to NHL at all, it's basically this option that you can switch on, and a little icon, which you'll see in the video, appears with what it would suggest you maybe do and how to do it. So, for example, you start, you want to pass, it will give you an option to pass and what to press, when to press it.
This must be something that they're doing across the board, because that sounds very similar, if not the same, as what FIFA 16. They call it trainer mode, and there's like a circle around your player, and like you say, it will sort of kind of say, you should press A to pass here.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing then as well.
And it's excellent because, as you say, with a lot of people in this country, they might not be too familiar with the game of ice hockey as they are with, say, football.
It was a good game.
It was a great game, Eric.
It was a long game.
It was a great game, Eric.
So it's very accepting of new people as it is old, but those button presses are very helpful, especially if you're not too familiar with it. Especially like the shooting, it also tells you kind of what type of shot to take at certain particular places on the court, on the rink. It's just an excellent feature, and I think it's great to see this kind of thing happen in the current lot of EA games, that welcomes you newer players just as much as it does the old.
So, I mean, do you generally, really enjoy this year's NHL? I mean, I'm not going to ask you to put a score on it. That's not what this is for. But you're very high on it. You like it a lot, or you're all right on it. Where do you stand?
I love it. I think
cool.
it's very good. I'm very impressed. A lot. As I say, a lot of EA sports games at the moment have done really well, and especially NHL. It looks stunning. They've paid a lot of detail to how it looks compared to the actual game. So the video starts with the actual panning across the city, then it cuts to the commentary, and obviously the live commentators, the actual people that commentate on the sport in America. They've managed to sync that in very well, very smoothly into the game. You've got mascots now at courtside, look excellent. I keep calling it court, but it's actually a rink.
I was going to ask, actually, generally speaking about the visuals, I was going to say, if talking purely in sports games terms, the game I always tend to hold up as the best looking sports game, I usually think it's the 2K's NBA series. Like, they just look unbelievable. Like, because like you say, NHL struggled a bit, not necessarily visually, but it struggled to kind of get into the next gen properly. Like, where does this, like, visually at least, people can see it, but there's nothing ever like, seeing it on your own big screen. Like, is it of that sort of ilk?
Certainly.
Fidelity wise,
I think 2K, especially this year's NBA, it's the best looking game I've seen sports wise in years. It's absolutely incredible. Like, the light, the reflections, the animations of the players, the way it controls just flows into the next, and it does look gorgeous. EA have done a really good job with NHL. There are some slight character animations that look a bit off, but nothing that's too bad. I mean, it's not perfect. I'd say NBA is the most perfect looking as you can get, but NHL certainly does a great job of looking like current gen.
Cool. So this is, EA, so it's authentic. It's got the licenses. It presumably, it looks great, sounds great, and it plays great. It sounds like you're saying it's welcoming to new players. Plenty of depth, I guess. Like, it plays well, and there's plenty of depth for people who love it and just want another game, another NHL game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the
reason I say that is because there's no competition, is there? Like, this is the NHL game. This is a hockey game.
Exactly. So even if, completely. But as I say, there's so many modes. Like, you've got your Ultimate Team, which alone many people buy the game for because it's so kind of engrossing. But yeah, the My GM mode is excellent as well. I'm currently in a season mode with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that's just essentially just the games. You can do the trades. It's not completely in depth, but it's how I like to play. I like to just enjoy the game with that little element of realism in the management, that kind of side. But if you want to go further, as I say, there is the GM mode, which you can dedicate your time to. The Ultimate Team. There's offline shootouts, which you can play against your friends. There's just, the online's great as well. There's a lot of competition there. Obviously, I got trounced when I when I tried, but you're willing to spend the time. It's certainly a game that's worthy of it.
So, although it's the only basically, if you like hockey and want a video game, you have to play this one. But what you're saying is, don't worry, it's a really good game.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's certainly worth you playing. If you've ever thought about getting into the sport, it's very welcoming. I know that the amount of teams and the kind of rules can be overwhelming, but it's very basic, and the controls are very basic. You've got a couple of pass moves, a couple of shooting moves. Unlike FIFA, there's not a ton of skill moves, so it is very easy to get used to. And again, it does go back to those kind of old games where, obviously on a Mega Drive, you only had a few buttons. That's all you really need in this, so it doesn't take too long to get used to the controls at all.
Cool. Well, Chris, thanks for your time. For everyone else, go to godisageek.com and you'll find everything you need to know in the world of video games. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
That's it for another great night at a hockey rink.